Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava. All glories to Sangha. All glories, all glories, all Shri Guru Shri Gauranga Sri Prabhupada Ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ajnanatamidandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prashavanusati Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Pancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam Karati Vachalam Pangam Langayate Gram Yat Kripatam Vande Shri Gurunataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwar. Today we are reading from Canto 3, chapter 23, text number 25. I'm sorry. Yeah. Angam chamala pankena Sanchannam sabalastanam Avivesha saraswatya Avivesha saraswatya Sarashivajalasayam Sarashivajalasayam Angam chamala pankena Sanchannam sabalastanam Avivesha saraswatya Sarashivajalasayam
Angam chamala pankena Sanchannam shabalastanam Avivesha saraswatyaha Sarah Shivajalashayam Angam chamala pankena Sanchannam shabalastanam Avivesha saraswatya Sarah Shivajalashayam Angam chamala pankena Sanchannam shabalastanam Avivesha saraswatya
Angam Chamalapamkena Sanchanam Sabalasatam Avivesha Saraswatya Sarasiva Jalashayam
Angam, body, cha, and Malapankena, with dirt, Sanchanam, covered, Sabala, discolored, Stanam, breasts, Avivesha, she entered Saraswatyaha, of the river Saraswati, Saraha, the lake, Siva, sacred, Jala, waters, Asatyam, Asatyam, containing, translation. Her body was coated with a thick layer of dirt and her breasts were discolored. She dove, however, into the lake which contained the sacred waters of the Saraswati. There is no purport. Read next one. Santa Sarsi Deshmasta Satani Dasa Kanyaka Sarva Kishore Vaiso Dadarsotpala Gandhaya. In a house inside the lake, she saw 1,000 girls, all in the prime youth and fragrant like lotuses. Tam Drishtva Sasothaya Prochu Pranjalaya Striyaha Vayam Karma Karistubhyam Sadhina Karvamakim. Seeing her, the damsel suddenly rose and said with folded hands, "We are your maidservants. Tell us what we can do for you." Purport. While Devhuti was thinking of what to do in that great palace in her dirty clothes, they were advanced by the yogic powers of Kartamuni. So there were at once by the yogic powers of Kartamuni 1,000 maidservants prepared to serve her. They appeared before Devhuti within the water and presented themselves as her maidservants, simply waiting orders. Correct. I neither have any qualification nor do I have any realization. Just I do this as a customary class. So I need everyone's blessings. So this is a very wonderful pastime. Bhagavatam contains the stories of all people. And great thing with Bhagavatam I have observed is, irrespective of what you were, who you were before, at the end you will go back to Godhead. Whatever may be your desires, whatever may be your desires, whatever may be the situation you are in, somehow by the situation you are put into, if you just stay within the process of bhakti, you would go back to Godhead. I was reading initially Maharaj Pururava and Urvasi. It was very difficult actually pastime because he was so infatuated. But end of that pastime, there was no end actually. I said the once he had that ended, he, if I can remember correctly, Urvasi left and he was longing. I said, why Bhagavatam, this story is there? But I think in 11th canto, the continuation occurs. And he goes back to Godhead. Wow. Same thing with Devyani and Yayate. So it's a very intense pastime for 3 modes. especially in Rajogun and Rajogun. But still, they will also go back to Godhead. Amazing. But before going back to Godhead, there is a message to the readers. Even if we enjoy the senses for 1,000 years, you cannot be happy. Past time of Hiranyakasipu, even if you get the control over the universe and everybody would worship you, including, with the exception of the three predominating deities, Narada Muni also would worship you. If you are focused on sense gratification, you cannot be happy. Bhagavatam breaks faith on the material world. Bhagavatam breaks faith on whatever we believe in during our education, during our education, and whatever relatives and parents told us. It is breaking faith on that. Because we see Indra suffering. We see with unlimited prowess and powers, Hiranyakasipu suffering. But at the same time, if you are simple, like if you Prahlad or Dhruva, with the determination you practice bhakti, you'll attain the perfection. But troubles will come to you, no matter who you are. How you will become victorious if you stay focused with the determination that Bhagavatam speaks. So why she became so initiated? In a marriage, if the wife is very chaste, she would not eat when the husband would not eat. Otherwise, nobody would become initiated. It's such a wonderful place. There was no pollution. There's like thousands of years ago, millions of years ago. Why she changed? Why this story is given in Bhagavatam? Extreme positions. On one hand, she was emperor for her. She was daughter of an emperor, not America's emperor. For 4 years. She was daughter of the emperor of the universe. So a woman who doesn't wake up for alarm clock, and she would not wake up either. She would wake up when they would sing all these wonderful Vedic hymns. And palace was bedecked with the jewels and pearls and all these things. Why this extreme story? Krishna is telling, whatever situation you may be in, there is a solution. Irrespective of whatever the condition you are in, there is a solution. Anybody can get into bhakti, can come to bhakti. Irrespective of what the situation is, if you are a little bit, if you understand the situation and take charge of the situation, you will attain the perfection. Ajamil, extreme situation. Krishna, when he wants to reveal, that's how Krishna reveals. Srila Prabhupada, extreme situation. 70-year-old man coming to America, 2 heart attacks, seasickness, no money, and he transformed drug addicts. He did not transform elite Americans who are looking for spiritual life. He transformed whom? Drug addicts. Means the process works. What is that? Process works. Nobody was looking for this process. But it changed. Only to tell you it works. It works wonders. So what she did? She was married to not a software engineer. She was married to Kartamuni, who was self-realized. And when he would go to meditation, he would not come out. Hare Krishna. When he would not come out means a disciple would not eat when spiritual master would not eat. Then she would wait. And she would not decorate because husband was not decorating. Husband was in deep trance. He was not taking bath means she would not. That is how she became initiated. That's how her hair was matted. But she changed with conviction. Unless, the other day I was telling, if you want to be master, you want to be servant. If you want to be servant, you want to be master. I didn't understand this. If you want to be servant of Guru, you should be controlled, you should have full control of senses. You should be master of senses. Our Guru will give you left handed, will become angry, ego will come. You may be Guru, that I cannot stay here. So many situations in the history. That's why better to stay away. If you want to be servant of your guru, you should be master of senses. If you want to be master of senses, you should become servant to guru. She changed. Service will make anybody change. Why he changed? This is daughter of Swayambhu Manu. She's so emaciated. If she was beaming with all beauty and so much of health and so much of health and everything, Kardamani would not have been impressed. I am doing meditation, you're eating 3 days breakfast, lunch and dinner. That's what we do after play to Krishna. 15 minutes customary. I hope you have eaten, take it out. When it becomes customary, there is no bhakti. You want to go, you want to travel somewhere, you need to use your senses and mind, GPS. You're in your workplace, you're a doctor, you're an engineer. You have to use your intelligence, not the mind. But when you want to do bhakti, not the mind or intelligence, heart. Then only we do bhakti. Why bhakti is very difficult? The biggest problem with bhakti, it appears easy. Mangalarti ho gaya, Singarthi ho gaya, Guru Puja ho gaya, Bhagavatam class. So if the heart is not there, bhakti, are you doing? When the heart is not there, this Bhakti Prabhu Maharaj, Vaibhava, Bhakti Vaibhava. He said, I have not chanted for 15 years. Prabhupada said, why Bhakti is why? Otherwise, Mayavadis can follow Bhakti very easily. So she changed and served. Today is actually no. Then he changed. He changed. Otherwise, what? He's self-controlled, fully self-controlled, self-realized. And who can tempt him? So, I heard, if husband changes, if wife changes for the pleasure of husband, first, what is the dynamic equation of the Grihasthashram? Husband should be very advanced. Wife is equally advanced, perfect. If not, if she serves, even if wife is advanced, husband has to protect the wife, wife has to serve the husband. With Krishna in the center. In both change for the pleasure of Krishna. But if you do for each other's pleasure, it will create bondage. That is also there. It will create bondage. Manaya Manushanam Karana Bandha Moksha. Amritavinda Upanishad. Mind is the reason for liberation, mind is the reason for bondage. This is my son if you serve. It will create bondage. This is my son, of course, but Krishna given son. This is my husband, of course, but it's Krishna given husband. If the Krishna element is not there, then 3 modes will react and you will get the fruitive result. Karmatmakam ena sharira bandha. So, who was born? Supreme Personality of God was born. In other words, if you change, the spouse changes for the pleasure of Krishna, Krishna consciousness will be born in your home. So the change, Gauranga Prabhu made a nice point when he came here. Life goes through changes. During changes, you have to hold on to Krishna. It changes only one time. And you will continue that position for a long time. For definitely 5, 10, 15 years. Marriage, it is next 30 years. A job, of course, America is different, but India, one railway job, 20 years. So every position, when it changes, if you do not hold on to Krishna strongly, you will be succumbed into that situation. And you'll become absorbed in the situation. Sometimes you'll become victim of the situation. If you are not deep within, you'll become victim of surroundings. Simple. Message bro, book distribution. If you just move to Silicon Valley, eventually you start booking book distribution. You'll be sucked into that environment. You know? Whichever environment you are in, you will naturally be part of it, unless you're very independent individual, strong individual. Still, to some extent, you'll be influenced. Then you find it good, especially. So, death, old age, life changes. Okay, youth maybe, little, some anxieties. Childhood, some anxieties. Only exam anxiety. But if you get married, people look for it actually, because a license for sense gratification. But after some time you realize the egos will come out. So whenever the life changes, if we do not hold on to Krishna strongly, we'll become the victim of our impurities. That situation will inflate, that situation will influence our impurities. Grihasthashram is meant to purify our desires. That's what this chapter in essence is. The episode said. So when you live in this material world, whatever life offers, accept it, but utilize it in Krishna's service. So one day Srila Prabhupada was going in London. There was a construction, traffic jam. Prabhupada said, what have I? Prabhupada, the traffic construction going on. Prabhupada lowered his window. What is it? Permanent improvement, temporary inconvenience. They put the board. Permanent improvement, temporary inconvenience. Prabhupada laughed and said, material world. Temporary improvement, permanent inconvenience. Prabhupada said that. It is a permanent inconvenience, temporary improvement. I got promotion, team lead. After some time, I became manager also. I became CEO also. So there are temporary improvements, but always whichever situation you're in, there's a permanent inconvenience. That's why one has to learn to get into the soul platform on daily basis, sacred space, Sachinanda Maharaj calls it. Otherwise, the environment, in respect of what environment you're in, it will overwhelm you for sure. That is the nature of this world. Only two people are happy, 11th canto. Either you are a crazy guy or totally self-realized. Only these two people are happy. Otherwise, in between, nobody. So we learn to get into our sacred space. Come to temple and chant the holy name. It's very easy to speak when somebody is listening. Very difficult to apply. So irrespective of what situation we are in, bhakti should be our motive. Anukulyana Krishna Anusilanam Bhaktiruttama Anya Avilashata Sunyam Jnana Karmata Navrata. So, okay, because I said bhakti is hard, we get initiated. Okay, 16 rounds over, prasad offering is over, Gayatri is over. Then, no, you're not doing bhakti. Is hard there. Initiation over. Second initiation over. Sannyas, if they give, that is also over. But nobody is willing to give. That is the material, that we are applying our material conditioning to that, whatever we are trying to get it. If you are an Annamaya, you will try to apply Annamaya situation to Radha and Krishna worship. Radha Krishna Lila, if you read it. If you are Pranamaya, same thing only. Abba, this is very difficult because that is not their problem. Your conditioning is there. That's why for somebody to go from Anardhanivritti to Nishtha, they can go through only the tiny hole of Trunada Vishwanichana. Hare Krishna. Tiny hole of Trunada Vishwanichana. So when she changed, Kardamuni just, he wanted to satisfy her. What is it? Putra Sunyam Graham Sunyam. What is the goal of marriage? Children. So he wanted to satisfy her. He created this palace. And their maid servants. Why bhakti is difficult? To become das is easier, but in America, you want to become somebody, you say, I'm your servant. They cannot understand. Maybe your parents will refer you to psychiatrist also. Why you have such low self-esteem? Once is a psychiatrist. My son, come here, take an injection. Right? Actually, one day I was driving with this Sadhana Swami. And one gentleman asked, what, about the book and how it happened. It was never mentioned. He said, the editor and sub-editor, they came to, they were loggerheads. They disagreed on one point. Ganesham Baba's story should be removed. Americans cannot understand. Sub-editor said, that is the essence. His humility is great. Editor said, maybe great, but America, I think, is useless. Somebody says, I'm your servant, I'm your servant. No need. I'm your servant. America cannot understand. Sub-editor said, I will resign. Then to balance, they have to add a page. Humility is power. Humility is not weakness. He was telling, I was listening because nowhere you can hear these things. How difficult it is. If you get success after success, if you're riding on the wave of success, it's very difficult to say somebody, I'm your servant. So wife and husband work together, they're dealing with in the office, tamo whole day. You come home and say, I'm your servant, you cannot. It's not like a gear, change it to a third gear, and now I'm your servant. No. The other Jason was telling, why Varnashram cannot? Because of this. Even if you want to follow, other person is not. The modes are so much mixed. But still, bhakti can work. Example is a Jamil. There is no Varnashram for a Jamil, but still bhakti worked for him. So, the servant maids he created, said, they were so subservient. Actually, seva, we can go through, we can progress in bhakti. We can traverse on the path of bhakti through seva. If I enjoy this giving class and there is no service attitude in presenting, my progress is very little. If I want to change with the desire, this is my service to you. I want you to become better. I am fallen conditioned soul. I cannot give anything to you, impart to you. But hopefully Krishna, through the words, Krishna will bring transformation. Krishna will bring progress. That is my service to you. I will make progress. Otherwise, only you will make progress because you're listening. To the extent we have this service attitude, that much extent will make progress. Otherwise, I'll attend Mangalarti for millions of years, lifetimes. I don't. It is very easy to do prasadam seva, but it's very difficult actually. Because always eating only, no honoring. One day I heard this lecture. If you only eat, but you'll make some progress because it's prasada. One day I was chanting the holy name, but I was shaken up by Maya. Why I'm still chanting? Prabhupada mentions, not only chanting, but how you chant also matters. There is so much of Hare Krishna and so many way. Jamal chant only 3 times Narayan. Why Vishnu Dutta Saradeva? It's not here. The mood with which, the helplessness, that made the situation different. I hope I'm speaking, I hope I'm not making anything, not speaking anything wrong. So, the maid servants, now of course they were created, no doubt, but they have a desire to serve. A person who does service in ISKCON always will find a place, a person who is willing to serve will always find a place to serve. He will not be bereft of service. Sometimes people say, I'm not qualified. You may not be qualified to eat in the first row, but everyone is qualified to serve. Prasad. I'm just giving an example. Of course, especially when you get a green signal from authority. So, a person, even if it's a gold plate, in my language there is a saying, it does need the support of a wall. Likewise, our sadhana, when gets the support of seva, we make progress. Otherwise, especially seva, what type of seva? Not the seva that you like. If you do the seva that you like and you establish yourself, when somebody comes, he or she will become your competitor. It means you're enjoying your seva. There is no quote-unquote seva. I am enjoying my seva. That is the difference between materialist service and spiritualist service. The moment somebody, like you're giving prasad and distribution, give me one more gulab jamun, you'll become upset. But here you are serving because you want to place Krishna in his heart. You want to place Krishna in your heart. You consider that as an opportunity. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami says, spiritual world, Das is higher. In the material world, boss is higher. We all have that mentality. That's why we stay here only. But going from boss mentality to Das mentality is not easy. Means I want to serve. Srila Prabhupada, what was his service? Prabhupada made people into devotees not by lectures, by cooking and feeding them. Cooking and feeding, there is a pause. He was cooking for the pleasure of Krishna. That Krishna word is there. Feeding them for the pleasure of Krishna. That's important. One day Mother Teresa was actually washing pots. Few Americans went and told, Mother, why are you doing this? Such a menial service anyone can do. She said, in God's service, there is nothing menial. Everything is great. Otherwise, we will have gradations in our service. Giving class is higher, singing is higher, or that is higher. All right, you want to sing, sing on Monday evening when nobody is there. Why only Sunday feast? It is important. What our progress is based on our consciousness. So these maid servants, they were serving. They don't know whom they were serving. They were serving the mother of Supreme Personality of Godhead. But I just want to make a point. Irrespective of whom you serve, you are fortunate. But the person receiving service, he has to be careful. He or she. You are serving it. Person who is giving charity, he is fortunate. the person receiving charity, he cannot be that much happy because you're the recipient. How much happiness, I'm sure many of you are practical, all of you are donors. You have that experience. So there is not so much happiness for the recipient actually. And actually recipient is, in spiritual circles has to accept the karma. You know. So in service attitude, very important thing is not we don't serve for our pleasure. We should try to serve for Krishna's pleasure, especially the person whom we are serving. Gauranga made a point, if brahmacharis want to make progress, they should do that type of services which they don't like. So it is to jump up and down dancing. But very difficult to go and ask everyone to do fundraising. Hey, I need money. Bhaktivinoda Thakur would ask 1 rupee, door-to-door event. Bhaktivinoda. So parallelly, if we do these things, then what happens? The service that you like, you'll do it anyway. You know? But there is service that you don't like, means something is stopping you. Something is stopping you. Some problem. You know? If that service is actually causing you progress, we should do that service whether we like it or not. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would do menial services to devotees. He would wash their clothes, would bring water for them. After he took sannyas, he defeated Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. This is India 500 years ago. Still, you know, the Varnashram system was in practice. And so much respect for sannyasi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya for blessings. There are a few days only before, until few days before he was a Mayavadi, now he has been transformed. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking blessings from him. He is a Grihastha. Lord Chaitanya, what bhakti is higher than everything. And until devotees did not give blessings, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed. Devotees also, my Lord, Dasara you wait. Deepavali you wait. Okay, Kartik is coming, you wait. They waited for Lord Chaitanya, please. It's 1 year over now. You are not letting me go. So, Bhakti or Vaishnavism, people experience by the behavior of the devotees. Not so much philosophy, actually. You know? So, if you have that mood, I'm talking to myself, then we can create a spiritual world. Maybe this will be Vrindavan, not spiritual world, just spiritual world. Vrindavan. Anything, if we do. I am serving. Yamam pasyati sarvatra sarvatra mai pasyati. So if we try to please Krishna, with whatever little we do, Jahna Mata, after Nityananda Prabhu left the world, she became the leader. She did not, she was a leader for the entire movement. She did not undertake huge Herculean tasks. What she did? She just cooked. She just simply cooked for everyone. That's how people felt nourished. You know, the great scholars, Narottam Thakur, Srinivasacharya, Shyamananda, they were all so influenced, so they were all blessed by her presence. Why? She was doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna. She did not say, I'm the Shakti of Nityananda Prabhu. But servant of servant. She has that nature. I mean, she had that nature. So it's more not what we do, but why we do. And of course, we have to do it nicely. How we do is important, but why we do it. You know, am I doing it for the pleasure of ego? It's very difficult to detect the influence of ego. You know, very difficult to detect because it's higher than intelligence. But if the motives are clear, then anything that we do becomes bhakti because it is meant for Krishna's pleasure. Jayapada Maharaj would meet people in the aeroplanes, same thing Gopal Krishna Maharaj. They would make connections, they would give their cards. Please come. These guys, okay, some American or maybe some Indian, old Indian. But when they would go, they would realize, wow. So he did not have that mentality, I'm like an acharya, you know. No. So I think when somebody makes progress and they receive the blessings of Krishna and perceive Krishna's presence, I think it's natural for them to become humble. That's why Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami could say, to the extent, he has gone to the extent of saying, I'm like a worm in the stool. And he's telling, if anybody sees me, they'll become contaminated, they become sinful. Wow, how many of us think like that? If you see me, you become sinful. I have come to deliver you. If you see me with the tilak on, you'll get unlimited blessings. That's why we are coming door to door. I have taken birth to deliver for the deliverance of the whole world. Maybe the other people will be delivered, but we won't be delivered. When we are so much infatuated by false ego, what is the medicine for false ego? Dasangas. You know, even though this is Prayojanacharya Raghunath Das Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami would offer obeisance to 3,000 Vaishnavas every day. Wow! How he could do that? He never felt he's a Prayojanacharya. That's why he's Acharya. After Ramanacharya left Quraysh passed away and his son became Parashara. Parashara became the Acharya in Sri Sampradaya. One day, he was scheduled to come at particular time every day, 9 o'clock maybe. A dog entered the temple, maybe on the altar. So they started cleaning the altar. When I heard first time, I was really shaken up. So no, Acharya will come, you know. I've seen this at least in Udupi. When Acharya comes, you know, the Guru comes, all the people will come. There's a procession. There's a lot of, it's an activity actually. So they're all cleaning anytime. The Guru will come. It doesn't look good when he sees us cleaning, but he came. And he says, what is happening? Then they were so, they were regretting that, they were caught. Because, how can you make sure, how can you allow the dog to enter? So, sir, the dog came in, we were a little off guard, so we could not, the dog came into the, came on the altar, please, that's why we are cleaning before you came. He said, if you are cleaning because dog came in, you should clean it every day because I am coming every day. I'm coming to this temple every day, then you have to clean it every day. And if you are in ISKCON for a while, we are trained to speak so nicely actually. I've seen this for myself. But that type of ornamental expressions will not bring transformation in others' lives. When there is in and out same, that will bring transformation. Or it will probably make mind happy. That's why it's not about the downloading the information, but it's all about how much, Krishna, not activity, but how much Krishna conscious I am. That will bring transformation. Even if you do not know much, just by that service attitude during Mahaprabhu, we'll make a lot of progress. Dukhi was just putting all the pots in order for devotees to bathe Lord Chaitanya. So maybe she was like, she was a maid servant of one of the maid servants of Srivas. So she felt herself unqualified just to be in that group, this elite group. She was just putting the pots in a row, one for just so that devotees could pick up one after another to bathe Lord Chaitanya. She said, Mahaprabhu and saw that. And they said, wow. And it immediately gave love of God for her. Amazing. So we do not know when it floods, when it rains, the low-lying areas are flooded. When we think we have something, okay, we have something. We'll return only that. When we think we don't have anything, then we have Krishna with us. It's very important. Very important. When Ravana rejected Vibhishan, the servants had followed Vibhishan. They don't know where Vibhishan was taking them. But Vibhishan took them to Lord Ram. They had faith in Vibhishan. They attained perfection. That's why we should hold on to. Even if we are bad, even if our heart is filled with greed, anger, envy, pride, we should hold on to the process, hold on to devotees. At least one devotee. Our spiritual master. Then we'll attain the perfection. Then all the servants of Srivas Thakur, there were so many Brahmins in Navadvipa. Maybe very scholars, Bhattacharyas and Mishras. But because of their pride and arrogance, they could never even access Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his mercy. But to the insignificant servants of Srivas Thakur, I should not use the word insignificant because they are Srivas Thakur servants. How can they be insignificant? They all got love of God. So, what is that? When we serve devotees, we develop affinity for listening Krishna. What is that verse? Syan Mahatsavya Vipram, Punyatirtha Nisev. What is the first two lines? Susrushto Sradhanasya Vasudeva. If you render service to devotees, then what happens? They give, by their mercy, we develop affinity for hearing. Otherwise, we develop affinity for watching movies and hearing movies only. We don't develop affinity for hearing. But that type of hearing and watching, it will incriminate us in the cycle of birth and death. This type of hearing will liberate us. This is what I want to speak. Sorry if I have spoken anything wrong. Please do excuse me as your humble servant. Very grateful for your patient audience. Anyone has any question or comment? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Amazing class, Prabhuji. I really like the point, right, how you started with Bhagavatam. It breaks our faith in material world. It was very striking. And I'm trying to understand, Kardama Muni had such an immense mystic power that he could create these damsels, thousands of them, and he could also influence their subtle body, that he made them as servants. I mean, they came with an attitude of being servant. So, is it possible like that, Prabhuji? Like, Prajapatis I understand, but somebody can influence the subtle body also, that this is how one can be servant.
He has created them. I mean, I think, these mystic powers are amazing. All these anima, karima, lagima, that it's this. Yeah, he has created them to pursue his purpose. If you to safely conclude, first of all, he has that much ability. Creation of matter is not difficult, but creation of souls with that attitude, that was great. Because what is that? I mean, to that extent, he was accomplished. See, for example, of course, demigods also. What is that? Shiva cut off the head of Daksha and he put a goat head, which is in bath, and Ashwini Kumaras and all, I mean, dealing with matter was not so difficult. But for that level, maybe there is higher levels. You can even create, you can have access to the souls. You can even designate them for your purpose. That is great, actually. And so that way is very complete. Prabhuji, forget about anything. He is able to give love of God to his wife. So means imagine what is his stature, So we say Krishna, Krishna, I Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratisyan, Kardamuni is also giving Lord Chaitanya wholesale, So if Kardamuni, a Jiva can give, why not Lord Chaitanya? If somebody doesn't have faith, this one this pastime will help you. Have faith in Lord Chaitanya. He's giving his love of God to his wife. Why not, Lord Chaitanya, So, but that to that extent, he was very empowered.
And we can override the free will of the soul.
They were all created by him. So not that he made a petition to Brahma and give me some souls, and so I don't know whether they're illusory or not, but we can safely conclude, because this is spiritual pastime, but of course also it is not written whether, of course, yeah, he created them, otherwise where can you get thousands and thousands in the forest, So yeah, it's possible. That's what. Thank you. Yes.
So my question is that what are passion attacks? Then at least internally, like for me, it's almost service attitude. And political, not really designing to serve. I don't be different somehow that service attitude is not there. And I'm not in
Louder.
I'm conscious of external things like ego.
Sometimes we cannot understand your humility, bro. So the question is, Shyam Kishore was telling that the ego attacks, the Rajogun, then the Rajogun is prominent, then what are the no service attitude. Anyway, you have better service attitude than me, actually. So, but the simple answer is, I'll tell this story. One day, Srila Prabhupada landed in America with Shrutakirti Prabhu. And all the devotees, they were jumping up and down, dancing, seeing Prabhupada in the tarmac. Shrutakirti Prabhu saying, I don't have any love for Prabhupada. Wow. Then they went home and Prabhupada, so he started ironing Prabhupada, he ironed Prabhupada's clothes, he gave it, and he started serving prasad to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, he said, Prabhupada, I want to tell you something. Yes. Prabhupada, I want to resign from my services. Wow. Prabhupada became grave actually. He mentions this in his book. Why? You are not happy serving me? No problem, I'm very happy serving you. Then why you want to leave? Leave the service. Prabhupada, when we landed, all the devotees, they were jumping up and down. I can see so much happiness on their faces. They were longing to see you. Prabhupada said, anyone can jump up and down. But affection is shown by doing service. Whether your heart is longing or not, you serve. That means today I don't feel like doing it, then do. If you don't serve prasad to your kids, that is not love. Or your husband, you don't serve prasad, that is not love. Whether you like it or not, you serve. Because this is my duty. That's it. It starts with the duty. Love will come later. Do with duty. So if Shyam Kishore doesn't get, Prabhu doesn't get up, Krishna doesn't get up. Krishna cannot get up. That's the word actually. Right? So, initially, yes, we are in 3 modes for sure. You cannot expect that type of consciousness, no doubt. But a simple thing is, what is that Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions, right? Worship out of fear, worship out of desire, worship out of duty, and the love is the topmost. ISKCON movement, yes, we hear worship out of love. But at least we should start at worship out of duty. That is very good. And actually, one lecture I heard, when you are miserable, that is the best time you can convey a message to Krishna. My Lord, I am miserable, I don't want to do it. But for your sake, I am doing it. That is the day you make maximum progress. I really liked it actually. I applied many times. When you are most miserable, there is every reason to break up, but still you continue. That's called love. Every relationship, there is insufficiency, inadequacy, misunderstanding, still you continue. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says it is love. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, what is that? Vrindavan step. One of it. What is her name? Mandodari, she disagreed with Ravana on every angle. But Mandodari served Ravana very faithfully. She never broke that relationship. That's why Lord Ramchandra revealed Vishnu form to Mandodari also. So continue with the duty, understanding we are not the mind. Eventually, when Krishna bestows that love, we may do with love. What do you think? Huh?
Just hear it, try to observe.
No, does it answer your question?
Yes,
Any other question? Bro, Krishna.
Really, thank you so much. Very wonderful class. Until I started doing class, I didn't realize how much humble one has to be and realize one has to be to speak the way you're speaking. So thank you for sharing. I have 2 points to make. Initially, when you started your talk, you said the situations will affect the impurities. But it can be said that the impurities can affect the situation also.
Yes, definitely. It's vice versa all the time. Yeah. ISKCON is hospital. ISKCON is a river actually. It's a pure river. We are like tributaries. We join that river with our 3 modes influencing that river. If you go to Devaprayag, where Alakananda meets Bhagirathi, from that point it's called Ganga. For very more than 1 mile, you see Alakananda is white, Bhagirathi is black. You see that white and black going parallel for a long time, then they'll mix. So we come to, ISKCON with our conditioning. And we add that conditioning to that pure. That's why our bhakti is in 3 modes. We have accepted Krishna as Supreme Person of Godhead. It's a pure process. But we affect that process with our conditioning. We have to make sure we affect the process. It is only for us, but we should make sure it doesn't affect others. That is problem. We cannot trust our opinions on others because we are in 3 modes. Very important.
Another, I just want clarification on what His Grace Prabhu was saying about the creation. So correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is as Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapil Dev was going to appear, and Kadamuni and Mother Devati, they are part of kind of his eternal pastime or Leela for him to appear. And Kadamuni's prayers are to manifest that area mentioned is obviously part of that pastime as well. That could be compared to pastime of Lord Krishna's appearance when Vasudeva and Devaki were put into the jail, and how. So what I'm trying to understand or share is that how that those souls were attracted to that becoming maid servant of Devabhuti and all that is part of Lord's larger plan. And the creation of that area mentioned and the other things associated with it is actually part of Lord's pastime and how they were attracted. So it's like we are getting into how they were created and then to make understanding of that, which is really kind of inconceivable for us at this point. That am I understand?
Yeah, it's part of his life.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anyone wants to add it?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
I'll just give you 1 minute, here. Yes, finish the thing.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the explanation of the service attitude that one should have. Only one thing I'm just thinking about when it comes to the grades in service, like this is higher and this is lower, the menial service and all that. When we look into the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and the peace pastime, considering she's doing menial service, there is a grade there. That is another one thing, and then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was in a pastime where he asked the professor to go and wash the pots. So externally there are grades, but actually for the service of the Lord there are no grades. Is that right?
Right. So irrespective of what the service is, if you put your heart and do the service, Samsiddhar Haritoshnam, is Krishna pleased or not? That's it. So if Krishna is pleased, that's it. Otherwise, you start seeing this, the gradations, they'll be miserable. Any service that you are given, do with heart. Varnashram Jaravada Purushena Parhuman Vishnu Aradhyate. Are you a Brahmana? You do whatever service duty based on 3 modes, you worship Krishna, you'll go back to Godhead. You're a Kshatriya, you do the ruling, administration, for the pleasure of Krishna, you'll go back to Godhead. You're a Vaishya, either do farming or cultivation or business, for the pleasure of Krishna, you'll go back to Godhead. And you're a Shudra, you're washing toilets, for the pleasure of Krishna, for higher Varnas, you'll go back to Godhead. That's the beauty of our Varnashram system. So, but a Shudra, a Brahmana, what is a Brahmana can never think king is getting all the glory. So I'll become the king. Then we cannot Sreyan Sudharma, we can have Paradharma, Sanskrit. What is that? So even if whichever dharma you're in, you do that. But if you shift, it's a problem. And okay, king should not think I'm taking counsel from Brahmanas. I don't need, I'll do myself. No, it's a machine with all the screws for the pleasure of Krishna. If we do perfectly, Shudra will, simple answer for you, Shudra will go back to Godhead for sure. If he does his duty for the pleasure of Krishna, because based on 3 modes, that's what he can do. Toilet cleaning or serving higher. But because you're doing it nicely, you're pleasing Krishna. That is the goal of life. Samsiddhar Haritoshnam. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? Yes, Prabhu.
We make the point you mentioned about everything is available in the forest, but the still is lasting. Still, she's initiative. I really like that. It's not a question. So you mentioned a person who is getting charity, getting service is suffering. I mean, it is, it is not properly situated. And but a person who is giving the charity or giving service is actually, benefited anyway. My question is, Prabhu, is it not that if I'm actually serving a person who's not the right partner, is that like, for instance, a person is serving, say, Satisava, I mean, you can say he's also suffering because he's going to, Krishna says, Data will be a person who's not a partner. So my question is it like, is it like a person makes some advancement or like, is it all suffering?
Quoted Satsava. Can you repeat that again?
No, I'm saying like if someone's saying, I have a service mentality, so I give all my money to, Satisaka, or I give all my money to Shri, or I give my money to some person. I have a service mentality. There are very nice people like that. They are very good people, they are very pious people. And they give all that money, to different people who are not authorized. And so my understanding so far has been that they are suffering because they do not know the right object of place. I mean, they have a mentality, they don't know where to put it. So that's been my impression. Yeah, please.
So you want me my opinion?
No, yeah, please correct me.
No, actually, simple. I mean, your Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, what is that? Sabha Manodharma. In this Bhadra, so that way you are right. Because what is material happiness? It is temporary happiness. What is mental suffering? It's mental, happiness is mental happiness, temporary. Mental suffering is a temporary misery. Both are, but what is it? Bhadra. Sabhamano dharma. That's what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says. That way, anything except bhakti will keep you in the world. Somebody they are thinking they're enjoying and they're staying in this world. Somebody thinks they're suffering in this world, still they're stuck in this world. In that sense, you're right. But because we are so much influenced by this three modes of the material world, unfortunately, people who do not have knowledge, they think by doing that, they will be happy in the next life. The positive thing in this is, when they think there is next life, that will bring them to the platform. They are not the body but soul. Even though it is dhanam in three modes. Still it is dhanam. Krishna says, charity, yajna dana tapasya pavanani manishnam. You should not give up a yajna sacrifice, charity and tapasya, because that will purify them. So that way, they are making progress. Even though it's a charity in three modes, that point we should consider. So yes, it'll bring some. It'll make them stay in the material world for some time, but because charity, it's charity, though it's in modes. Because they'll make progress. One day they'll come to the path of pure bhakti. So there is positivity. What do you think?
Interesting. I think the mode of was is true.
Thank you. Anyone wants online? Otherwise, we'll end it. Somebody in the online, you want to add anything? Otherwise, we'll finish it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Somebody is there?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanat Pranam.
No. Just put it.
Prabhuji, very nice class. Prabhuji, one question. How we know that Guru is happy with our service?
If authority is happy, Guru is happy. If temple authorities are happy, I mean the authority under which you are serving, if they are happy, Guru is happy. As simple as that. Otherwise, we'll try to satisfy our mind. Recently I was thinking of this. A person who is trying to satisfy his or her mind. If you keep on satisfying your mind will become like a demon and will give so much trouble. There's actually a movie in novel Frankenstein. You know that, right? Americans know that. So first day I joined, they said you have to do fundraising. First, so it's like so difficult. And I said, then they said, if you have to do something, otherwise you leave. I don't know. I mean, it's a mild leave because nobody leaves in especially full. Somebody joins full time in America. But seriously, we don't want other services. We have this service. I had to make a choice. I said, give me end of the day time. Give me time till the end of the day. I'll tell you. And I went on, no, I'll do it. So the point is need of the hour. What is the need of the hour? Whatever you tell, even if they're wrong, if you do service, you'll make progress. So many gurus in ISKCON fell down, but many disciples served them. Do you think that service was lost? Definitely not. They made tangible progress because that service was directed to Krishna. So service never goes annoying, never is never wasted. Okay, hope it answered your question.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Very nice answer. Why not? What is that? But my question, are you happy with my service? Please.
You mentioned progress is depending on consciousness. Consciousness is it's a millions of feelings. Like it's like every second it changes. There is so many factors influences. So how do we measure the consciousness?
Tamogun means helplessness, Rajogun means fruitive activity, Sattva means knowledge. Even though there is a fluctuation, what is your motive? It fluctuates. But end of the day, what is that you're doing? Mind will say yes or no. Gulab Jamun, yes. Rasgulla, yes. Service, no. So rather than paying so much attention to mind, are you doing the service you're given or not? Do you want to make progress by pleasing Guru and Krishna or not? By pleasing the authority or not? The answer is sometimes yes, sometimes no, because of the fluctuation. Based on that, we make progress. If it is 70-80% always on other side only, only 20% this side only. That much. When I heard Bhakti in 3 modes, I was really shocked. So, but because we all accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of God, the same chapter, Kapil Muni, comes. There also still we have mode of ignorance. We are influenced by mode of ignorance, passion and sattva. That's why one has to be very diligent in sadhana, so that we will make firm decisions. Spiritual life, the progress in the spiritual life is based more on, it is said in Christianity, 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to the situation. Very nice point I liked in Christianity. Mind will tell so many things, but am I doing right thing? One lecture I heard recently, it really shook me. Don't see whether it is difficult or easy. See whether it is right or not. See whether it is right or wrong. If it is right, do it. If it is right, it is pleasing to Guru and Krishna, do it. It is not pleasing to Guru and Krishna, even if it is easy, don't do it. Then you will make progress. End of the day, our progress is not based on projects. When I realized it, I really I'm becoming disinterested, honestly. Progress is based internal. Progress is always internal. You'll make progress based on the internal situation. Somebody may be, what is that, GBC, temple president, so many positions. But progress is not there now. It's internal. I know many people, devotees, when their positions were not favorable to bhakti, they came back. They came back to consulting because it's taking too much time. If I apply the same thing to myself, if my position is not helping me make progress, this position is not good. It's detrimental. I should not hold on to the position. And if Grihastha is giving up his position because it is detrimental to bhakti, same thing with me also. If this position is not doing good for me, then I should either give it up or make an alternative. At the end of the day, bhakti progress is internal. It's not external. So I think it's late. We'll end it here. Thank you very much. And if I've spoken anything wrong, do excuse me. Very grateful for your patience and sir.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.